Hello and welcome to a RimWorld colony showcase video for my largest colony for Alpha 17, and I think really one of my favorite colonies that I have ever built in RimWorld. Now this here is Vault 28, and this is my sort of attempt at a little bit of, I guess, Fallout RP in RimWorld. Now this is a underground base, so a base dug into a mountain, where we're basically trying to RP as, like I said, a Fallout vault, kind of similar to what you would find in a Fallout game. Now, the game setup for this was a custom scenario that was, I guess, kind of similar to a Rich Explorer start, where we did start with one person, and we do have permanent toxic fallout, which has been a permanent map condition throughout the entire game and throughout the entire life of this colony, which is actually getting up there now. I think, yeah, we've been here for about like 6 and a bit years in-game time, I suppose. So, yeah, it's a fairly well-established colony at this point. Now, like I said, we did start with just one colonist, and that was Overseer Travis here, who is currently failing at building sandstone block walls, apparently. And we're actually quite lucky to have Travis still with us in this colony, even though he does occasionally fail at building walls. We are quite lucky to have him here because early on in this colony's lifetime, he was actually captured by raiders along with 2 other colonists, I believe. And basically, as he was being captured, he was almost at the edge of the map, and his trusty companion, which was Nadine here, his bonded German Shepherd pet, so his little bonded animal, she went and attacked the raider that was trying to capture Travis and actually managed to save Travis from the raiders, which was just, it was so cool. It was really one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me in RimWorld. And I think at the time, like if we have a look, she's missing a paw. She was actually missing a paw at the time as well. So injured already and, you know, moving a little bit slower, but she still managed to get out there and rescue her bonded master, it was just such a nice little moment. One of those things that just, I don't know, you never really think will happen to you or something, but yeah, it was just one of those really cool little RimWorld moments that was pretty cool at the time when it happened. Yeah, but let's go for a little bit of a tour here of Vault 28. So I guess starting at our entrance here we have our nice shiny Vault 28 logo, and this is like my standard defensive setup here. It's pretty run-of-the-mill, I guess, similar to what other people might do. We have some traps at the front here. We have some turrets here, which are behind a switch, and we have some sandbags here where my colonists are going to stand should we need to defend a raid at some point. Moving into the vault here, we have to the left here our security bedrooms. So the bedrooms for our security personnel. You can see here that the night shift is currently asleep in their bedrooms. So I like to split my my security personnel's like shifts here, I suppose. So I have people on the night owl sort of schedule, and then people on the day shift as well. And that basically means that most of the time there's going to be some people sleeping out here, which is, you know, towards the front of the base. It's near to our power switch here for switching the guns on. So if we ever needed to activate the guns quickly and needed to get people out into this area quickly as well, we're pretty much guaranteed that there's, you know, most likely going to be some people towards the front here who have, you know, good shooting skill, good weapons, all of that sort of thing, and can, you know, help out with the defense of the colony here. The security personnel do also have a little training area over here, which I think is pretty damn cool. We have a martial arts dummy here, so our security personnel will go and practice their martial arts from time to time on the little dummy here, and they will also go and shoot at the shooting target. You can see they've done a bit of damage to the walls here with some stray shots over the course of the journey here. They may eventually punch through here, I guess. And yeah, that wouldn't be ideal. I probably wouldn't build a wall there because that would mean that they are going to hit it from time to time, which is going to trigger someone to go and repair this area and therefore, you know, walk into potentially a live fire sort of situation there. Yeah, but that's a minor problem, I guess, which if they did punch through here, it's only like an aesthetic issue, I guess. This little area that you see here, this is my medical prison. Now, this is what I always like to do with my prisons. This was, in fact, my initial like prison setup. And this is what I will normally do, is I will build an initial prison setup where, you know, this will be our starting prison when our colony is a little bit smaller. And as it gets a bit bigger, I'll go and build a proper prison off somewhere else, and I'll convert this into a medical prison. So obviously this is quite close to the front of our base. And, you know, any prisoner that we capture, pretty much, I could almost say 100% of the time, they're going to be injured and they're going to need some form of treating. So you're going to want to take them to your medical prison, which here is quite close to the front of our base. It does have also its own little special area here where we're keeping herbal meds. So a little refrigerated area here. And yeah, quick access to medicine. So, you know, if there was like a really valuable character who I really wanted to recruit, but they were quite close to dying, we can, you know, we have this area here where we can bring them to quite quickly and have immediate access to medicine and get them treated ASAPly, basically. And then, you know, they've got a little table in here as well. It's a, you know, it's a decent little prison, I suppose. Yeah, and with this stack of herbal meds here as well, this is just a single tile stockpile, which I'd kind of wanted to overflow into our hospital here, but it's not really working quite the way I would want it to. But that's because I'm running the increased stack mod, which is kind of making this herbal med stockpile here not overflow quite in the way I want it to. So I may look at uninstalling that at some point, but then I am going to lose some stockpile space here. So, you know, it's you can't have the best of both worlds, I suppose. Let's take a look now at our actual hospital here. So this is our colonist hospital. At the moment, we do not have hospital beds, I think they're called, or yeah, hospital beds. But we do have the vitals monitors here. And you can see that up in this area here, I have some bedrooms which are really close to our hospital here. This is where our doctors are going to sleep, and also Gideon here, who is our head surgeon. So this bedroom here is for our head surgeon, which is the guy who I kind of consider to be the best or the most skilled medical personnel, or, you know, person with the best medical skill in the colony. So if I ever want to do a surgery or something, you know, I can quickly see on my colonist list here, okay, who's my surgeon? It's Gideon here. I can go and get him to perform that surgery. And also, these guys are sleeping quite close to the hospital. I don't know if I've got these guys on alternating schedules. That's probably something I should look at, so that there's always one of them awake, and also conversely, most of the time, one of them asleep in this area. You know, so that there's people close to the hospital who can go and treat, you know, in danger or critically wounded patients as quickly as possible. Yeah, what else do we want to look at in this initial area here? Well, let's take a brief look at the kitchen setup here. So we have 3 cook stoves here, we have 2 butcher's tables, and a 3rd butcher's table over here for butchering humans. So you can see I've got a suspended bill here. This is for butchering humans. You can see I've got a little bit of human meat here. And when we do have corpses to butcher, I will manually go and get our psychopath to do this job here. So I'll make sure that no one else does it, basically, so that they don't get too upset about all of that sort of thing. Over here, we have our colonist graveyard. We have a little sun lamp here, which is running some power for flowers here. So that looks quite nice. I like this this little area here to pay homage to our fallen comrades, I suppose. We've got a few of our dead pets in here as well. So yeah, a nice little graveyard area here with a little crypt down here as well. You know, we might need some more sarcophagi in the future. What else do I specifically want to go and look at here? Well, let's just, so back here I have my prisons, my long-term holding cells, I suppose. So I like to split these up a bit, so I'm only keeping 4 people to an area, and that hopefully means that if there's a prison break, it won't be everyone all at once. Sometimes it still works out that it is everyone all at once, but this gives the chance for, like, I'm not really sure how that prison break mechanic sort of works. Sometimes, you know, all the doors will open and everyone will get out, and sometimes just one of them will open. So, yeah, luck of the draw, I suppose. But this, you know, having these areas split does mean that there is a chance that not everyone will be involved in a prison break should it happen. At the moment, we've just got the 2 prisons going here, but we are in the process of adding a 3rd, and there's a 4th here as well that I will be doing at some point. Yeah, that deep drill is run out there, so I need to go and replace that at some point soon. Now let's go and look at this little area here. So this area here is my special little overseer area, which is you know, just specifically for Travis. So what he's got here, this is his main bedroom where his bonded animal here is sleeping. Nadine is actually probably quite old now. Can I see, where do I see how old she is? Time as colonist, 6 years, 1 quadrum. So she's been with us for 6 years. Oh, she's 17 down here. Okay. So she's quite old, I guess, for a German Shepherd. Probably, I don't know. Can a dog die of old age? I guess maybe if this colony lasts, or if I play this colony long enough, maybe I'll find that out. Yeah, but this is his main bedroom here. He has a little private dining table here as well. And now that we're here, let's take a look at how I have restrictions set up in this colony. So like I mentioned earlier, Travis here is the overseer of Vault 28, and every resident, every pawn in this colony has a rank assigned to them. So you can see these little abbreviations before their name. Each of these is or corresponds with a rank in this colony. And that rank, it mainly affects the access that they have to this overseer area here. So you can see someone with overseer access, they have access to all of this area. And restricted pawns are also restricted inside of the vault, because obviously we have permanent toxic fallout here. We don't necessarily want people going outside if they don't have to. So yeah, some of the people here are restricted inside of the base, or as many as is possible. These guys who are unrestricted, they're basically haulers and or hunters, and haulers and hunters are going to need to go outside. So they are unrestricted. And of course, being unrestricted, they do then have access to all of Travis's special little overseer area here. So his private overseer dining room, even his ultra exclusive private dining area here in his bedroom, and his rec room here. And this here is like his little wardrobe thing. But for some reason he doesn't want to store clothes here. I have got apparel set to be stored here, but it's just not working for some reason. Maybe if I took that down to good. Yeah, but I don't actually think this is a problem with the stockpile settings. I do have this issue, and I have had this issue in the previous alpha, where if I try to restrict what can be stored on a shelf, then it won't actually store things there. So you can see we've got a bunch of, like, see this for example, it's not being stored in a stockpile, but we do have button-down shirts, I'm sure, on this thing here. And that one was, of course, Masterwork quality. So button-down shirt, yeah, it should be stored on here, but it just doesn't get stored there, because for some reason, if you try to restrict what can be stored on a shelf, it just won't store anything there. And I think that's just an issue with the base game, so rip. yeah, but let's take a look further at Travis's area here. So again, with the restrictions, so Overseer can go anywhere in here. Security personnel, they only get access to Travis's Overseer dining room here, as well as these little bedrooms here. And these bedrooms are basically for Travis's personal bodyguards. And I'll get to those guys in just a minute. But yeah, obviously, Travis, he wants to have a nice, close relationship with his security personnel. So from time to time, they will come and dine with him. He will get to know them a little bit better. And yeah, he does give them access to his dining room here. Scientists, which is another role in this colony. A scientist is just someone who has like a really useful skill to the colony. So for example, Yasser here, I'm basically considering Yasser to be a gun scientist. He has 20 crafting skill, so he's going to make some pretty damn nice guns for us. So yeah, he is a gun scientist for us. And you know, our primary researcher as well, he might be considered to be a scientist. I think also one of our cooks is considered to be a food scientist or something, I guess. But yeah, scientists, they get access again to the dining room, as well as the Overseer rec room here, which is a little exclusive rec room. We have a billiards table here. We have a marble chess table. And I think maybe I will put a flat screen TV or something in here at some point when I actually get one of those. I don't think I've seen one yet. Well, if I have, I didn't have the money to buy it at the time. Yeah, so that's the Overseer area there. And yeah, I think it's pretty cool to have this little exclusive area for our Overseer. And also, like I mentioned, it is nice to have his little bodyguards here as well. So these guys, they're all melee characters. So you can see a loner here is, well, I think a loner's a brawler. Yeah, she is a brawler. Quite a good melee skill, has a fairly decent melee weapon. And basically, the job of these characters here is if there's ever a infestation or some kind of dangerous situation in this area, these guys are all on the same sleep schedule as Travis and as his deputy and his lover here, Beniko. So yeah, these guys are on the same sleep schedule, and if Travis is ever in any danger, these guys will spring into action and go and sacrifice their life for the good of the vault and the good of Overseer Travis here. And you can see that one of our guards has already gone and done that at some point. So a little bit of a dangerous occupation, but you do get access to the finer things in life and the finer things that Vault 28 has to offer to our colonists here. And Travis, he does have 2 ways to get in and out of his bedroom, so he can get out through this little back corridor here. So, you know, if there was an infestation spawning maybe in his dining room here, he could get out in this way. Or if there was an infestation in his actual bedroom, potentially it might be safer for him to exit through the main sort of entrance. Also, I'll just quickly, so he does have a fine meal fridge in here. Oh, we've got a prison break. Of course we have a prison break. I'm just going to have to leave the game paused here, I think, and not worry about that. Yeah, so here we've got a little fine meal fridge, and this is my most important stockpile for storing fine meals. So this is the highest priority fine meal fridge. So anytime we don't have an excess of fine meals will be stored here first as a priority. So Travis will always have access to the best food that the vault has to offer. If we go back and look at our main mess hall here, you can see at the moment the fine meal fridge here is actually empty. So all the plebs here basically are not getting fine meals at the moment. Only Travis and his select few colonists who he deems worthy of access to this area are getting access to the fine meals. And we've got a beer fridge in here as well. We've got plenty of beer kicking around at the moment. Also a beer fridge in here. Now, what else did I want to take a look at here specifically? I do have a couple of little animal areas back here. And And I do like, whenever I have an animal that's not going to haul, an animal that's basically like a farming animal, I do like to restrict them to a certain area, mainly so that they don't take drugs, because animals, for some reason, are a little bit attracted to drugs in this game. Maybe I can't say I blame them. But yeah, so the muffalo here, they're all restricted to their muffalo pen. We've got a stockpile here for kibble. This is a stockpile for kibble. And this stockpile here is for hay. So they've got 2 food sources there, so that we're never really going to run out of foodstuffs for our muffalo there. And I've got another animal pen here. At one point I had cows in here, but I didn't find them to be super useful. At some point we will get another animal to go in here. I would like it to be like some sort of combat animal, so something that we can train to release and do some funny combat-y things with, because fun, basically. Now let's take a look at this area here. So this is a little indoor garden area, and I really like this area. It's completely non-functional, so we're running like 8 sun lamps here, which are basically just here to grow flowers. So yeah, a bit of a waste, I suppose, of this power, and it does mean that I've got to have quite a lot of power in this base. You can see I did discover a little open area here where I'm doing a bit of extra solar and wind. We've got solar and wind out here. We've got, what are these? These are chem fuel generators, which is part of a mod, the chem fuel generator. And these are quite a high powered generator, but they do eat some of our vegetarian like foodstuffs. You can, oh well, yeah, they use chem fuel, and the chem fuel I'm making out of vegetarian foodstuffs, and you know, there's other things you can make chem fuel out of. I'm sure you probably know what you can and can't make chem fuel out of. And yeah, as part of this base as well, because I decided to go somewhere where there's a river, I actually discovered that with a river map, you kind of gimp yourself a little bit in that you can't get access to potentially like half of your steam geysers. So we've got like 3 steam geysers here, which literally we just can't get access to, because we can't build on this terrain, and we also can't get rid of this moisture here. So a moisture pump will not get rid of a river, obviously, I suppose. So yeah, something to keep in mind if you are playing on a map with a river. Yeah, but yeah, this little area, I just really, it makes me a little bit happy having these, you know, not super functional areas, but just this nice little area that, I don't know, doesn't really serve any useful function in the base, but it kind of looks nice and adds to the overall flavor of Vault 28, I feel. So yeah, we've got some art in here. We've got a little picnic table where people can like socially hang out, I suppose. And yeah, there's not a hell of a lot of functionality to this area. I suppose with these poplar trees, which I am just having here for aesthetic reasons, but even so, we are getting a little bit of wood out of them. We are also getting a small amount of rice out of here. And again, the rice here is mainly here just for aesthetic reasons. I think this kind of looks like a nice little grassed kind of area, I suppose. That's kind of what it looks like to me. And then, you know, it maybe justifies or slightly justifies having 8 sun lamps running, because we get a little bit of rice out of this area. Yeah, so I don't know. Again, this area, not very functional, but it does make me a little bit happy. Lastly, let's take a look at the chapel here. So this is where, if we were to have a marriage in this colony, this is where our marriage spot is. This is where our our couple being wed would stand inside this little rectangle. And our celebrant, I'm hoping will stand here, but he might also stand over here, I guess. I'm not really sure. And when there is a wedding here, the people attending the wedding will actually come and use this furniture here. So they will come and sit on these little stools and participate in the wedding, which I think it's just really quite nice. So if you do a little setup like this for yourself with furniture in the sort of wedding area, people will use it during the wedding. Yeah, and I think this just, again, looks kind of cool. These stools all sort of lined up like this, to me, are kind of simulating like pews like you would see in a church. So again, I think this area looks kind of nice, especially with the torch lamps here providing this like firelit sort of area, giving a nice sort of warm, I guess a bit, you know, chill, spiritual kind of vibe to our chapel here. Yeah, so I think that's everything that I really want to show. I mean, I could go on and on here. There's a bunch of other things that I could probably show off in this colony, but yeah, I think we will leave it here. That is a bit of an overview of Vault 28. Now, if you have watched to the end of this video and you would like to see a little bit more of Vault 28 here, I will be doing a Season 2 of a Let's Play for this Vault. So basically giving Vault 28 here a little bit of a last hurrah before Alpha 18 comes out. Because I don't really like playing behind in an alpha, if you get what I mean. So once Alpha 18 comes out, I'll probably be switching over to that. But yeah, as I said, I'd like to do a little bit of a last hurrah here for Vault 28. So I will be doing some more Let's Play content for Vault 28 here, which I'll be uploading to my channel sometime in the next week sort of so. It'll probably be a little bit of a compact series, so maybe just like 10 or 15 episodes. But I am hoping to get a bit done in that time. I'm hoping to basically do a bunch of like late game, end game sort of stuff that you can only really do with a large sort of well-established colony like we have going here. And we're going to be launching a bunch of transport pods across the map. So I've already got that set up here. And yeah, we're going to be going and raiding a bunch of people, and also setting up a second colony. So running 2 colonies simultaneously. I am going to build a second vault. It'll probably be quite a small compact vault. But yeah, it's something I've never done in RimWorld before, and I'd like to see how that kind of works out. So that is also something that I will be doing in Season 2 of Vault 28. So yeah, if you would like to join me for that, as I said, I'll be uploading that within the next week or so. But thank you very much for watching this video, and I guess I will see you next time.